All right, we've got Congressman Byron Donalds who's joining us right now on Daybreak, 92.5 Fox News. It's been a busy day, so I'm assuming we're going to talk aliens. Is that what the big? That's not the big talk.
So you know what's interesting about that? I wasn't in the alien hearing. We were working on appropriations up here. It's been pretty crazy couple of weeks trying to make sure that we, spend the right amount of money, no more.
Yeah.
And so, I've been really too focused on it because the alien hearing happened, and I was hearing it from my colleague Anna Polina Luna and Gage. They were talking about it, and I was like, "Wait, that was today?" They were like, "Yeah." I was like, "Oh shoot, I missed that one. That's the one I really wanted to be in."
I missed that one. You were so bummed out because you didn't have the opportunity to be on the committee hearing there about the UAPs. I get it. I mean, you need that kind of diversion from some of the other things that are going on, although people might say the destruction of the human race is not exactly, it's a little more than a diversion, but I know I digress. But seriously, boy, how about the Hunter Biden plea deal issue? You want to comment on that at all? Or?
Well, I mean, look, the plea deal that they struck, yes, it was time.
Oh, are you there, Congressman? We lost you. Oh, we lost him. We got to try to get him to call back. Let's see. Oh, all right. Well, we'll see if we can get him to call back in just a minute. He will. I know. I know. It's a plot. I'm telling you. We started talking about UFOs. We started talking about Hunter Biden. The next thing you know it, the phone goes out on our congressman. See? So something's up. So, all right, here he is. All right, sorry, the phone cut off. I
lost you in the stairwell. I was walking downstairs to the car.
No, I blame aliens. I blame the aliens.
They probably did cut us off.
Yep.
Let's be honest.
That's right.
But anyway, everybody knows this is phony. Everybody knows this is designed to protect not just Hunter Biden. It's designed to protect Joe Biden. Right. And so the reality is that you had a judge who said, no, I'm not putting my name on this. And listen, the thing that's starting to really piss me off is the media doing this whole, well, that's a Trump-appointed judge. Like she somehow is less than to the other judges. Obama-appointed judges do all kind of stupid things in their rulings, and they never talk about who appointed them. This is becoming a real cancer in our politics. But at the end of the day, the plea deal for Hunter Biden was a cover-up, a part of the Department of Justice. And that's why a lot of members are looking at DOJ in particular and saying, wait a minute, if y'all are covering up, that's obstruction of justice. In my view, just because you're a prosecuting agency doesn't mean you're not allowed to obstruct justice.
Right.
And go against the law.
And there's so many things that are so wrong about it. The idea that here you had the case in Delaware, of all places, and then you have a DOJ clearly on the White House's side, and then you have the defense clearly on the White House's side. Like you have the two sides that are conspiring anyway to begin with. It's just weird and bizarre. That, number one. Number two, obviously to your point, it's all about don't focus on Hunter, everybody. Focus on Joe. It's all about Joe and covering for Joe. And then the third part about it is the hypocrisy is like intergalactic level, if you want me to use the UFO terms, which is like you have gun charges clearly that would go against any other citizen that don't go against Hunter Biden. And on top of that, we're told all the time we need more legislation. We need more gun legislation. We need more and more and more. And yet it proves what many people have said. If you're not going to follow the law anyway, what difference does it make? You can load it up because all the law-abiding citizens will go along with it, but you won't.
Listen, I totally agree with you on this one. I just can't wait for the Democrats to try to debate on this topic.
Yeah.
Because if they're like, oh, we need to make sure everybody pays their fair share. Well, Joe Biden's son didn't. He didn't pay his fair share. Joe Biden wasn't looking around saying, hey, make sure you pay your taxes, son. He didn't do that. So you're going to come after every other American, but your son gets to evade taxes and then get a sweetheart deal on top of that? This is the hypocrisy of the left. They want to talk about gun control? Bro, your son violated federal law. The family knew this. Yeah. The family's aware of this. I didn't hear you coming out telling your son that he's got to step up and do the right thing and answer the charges because he broke the law when it comes to buying a weapon. Like, this is the stuff that we're talking about.
Yeah.
And so at the end of the day, here's where we are right now. In the House, the Speaker is serious about impeachment inquiries. He is. I think that with all the information that we have brought to the forefront that the media continues to ignore, I actually believe we have a two-track process for impeachment. First track actually deals with Merrick Garland, and depending on how this unfolds, some other people at the Department of Justice, because they obstructed justice. This is clear cut. Everybody knows it. Even if you're a dyed-in-the-wool Biden voter, you have to understand that the Department of Justice was covering up and obstructing real justice. That's track one. Yeah. Track two is, yes, Joe Biden is part of a international pay-for-play public corruption scheme. He knew about it. He helped to encourage it, and he definitely took advantage of it, because how does a dude who was a U.S. senator their entire life have a beach house and a Corvette in a garage, by the way, next to classified documents? That just doesn't happen. Yeah. You know, he's not some savvy investor. Joe Biden's actually not a smart man at all. But he leveraged his office, and he used his son as the facilitator to get a bunch of money from foreign countries. That's public corruption.
Yeah. Yeah, and
that is high crimes and misdemeanors.
Yeah, and to your track one issue and the cover-up, too, the problem is when you talk about Democrats and they see the same thing, they don't care because it's the same team. Doesn't matter. As long as it's my team that's doing it, I don't care. As long as we're protecting my team, and that's some of the bigger, 30,000-foot level political issues we have, which is, it's amazing how some people don't care about the hypocrisy. Some people don't care about the cover-ups as long as it's my guys that are being protected. That's Drew, a bigger issue.
Drew, here's the big, to bring it to a quick point.
Yep.
Everything they accused Donald Trump of, Joe Biden actually did. Let's have that sink in for a moment. He's a Russian agent. He's a foreign agent. All the stuff they accused Donald Trump of, Joe Biden did. Oh, he's abusing the office. No. Actually, Joe Biden's abusing the office. And we have chapter and verse. We can go down the list. And that's where we are in our country. The big media, the Democrat Party, they are covering up for Joe Biden. They are protecting Joe Biden because Joe Biden is moving the agenda that they like. Period.
Yeah. Congressman Byron Donald is joining us on Daybreak 92.5 Fox News. And listen, the buzz around here today in the state is not aliens. It's definitely, a partially Hunter Biden, but it's also partially what's been out there with the African-American standards in the state of Florida and the discussion about education. And I know you had a tweet out recently, and maybe we can talk a little bit about this and what you think about what has been happening here in the state. And, it's not only some of the attacks against what the State Board of Education is talking about and what's going on here, but your thoughts on all of it, because it's been quite an issue and there's a lot of buzz going on about it.
Well, look, sure, I can even hear it in your voice. It's kind of an awkward situation.
It is.
Look, the Black history, African American history standards that have come out of are really good. This is what I told Wink News. They're actually really good. But yes, it is an issue for Black Americans when you hear that slavery was okay because you earned some skills. Like, just on its face, that is a comment that causes Black Americans to be like, oh, wait up, time out, what are you doing? That's all it is. I think that.
Right, but I guess, but hold on, Congressman. But who said that?
Yeah.
Like, who's specifically? I mean, to the point. I haven't heard anyone ever say it's okay. That slavery was okay because of the skills, except for some people on the left. Like, I haven't heard anybody in the state, any conservatives, any Republicans saying that at all.
Right.
And the other part of it too is, and I think this is another issue that, if we just have to say it is what it is. It's history. It is a timeline. It's a historic timeline. So in the historic timeline, what do you say to people who say, well, here's the thing. After slavery is abolished, you have individuals who formerly were slaves, who now needed to do something moving on with their life. The life is moving on. So the next thing they would do is they would be fill in the blank, because these are the things that they learned while they were slaves. The attachment to the fact that they learned something while they were slaves does not say that slavery was good or okay or anything else. It's just the timeline. It's just, this is where they were. This is what they knew to do. The time came when they were going to now start their life, and their life meant that they had a skill as a carpenter or a farmer or whatever the case may be. And then that's what they pursued. So it's not a connection of one to the other like it's okay. It's just the timeline. Does that make sense?
No, of course. And this is why I've been very clear about this as well. If you read all the standards and you go through them all, you're like, wait a minute, this makes sense. This is very clear. The political side of it, the emotional side of it, and let's be very frank on this one. This is not about the standards themselves. Now, there is an emotional and a political reaction to this. The political reaction is pure politics. But to not acknowledge that there is a knee-jerk emotional reaction amongst Black Americans, like, you have to acknowledge that. So my point is, look, everything in there is very, very good. It's robust. We're going to teach Black history. We're going to teach African American history, and it's also going to weave itself appropriately, in my view, with U.S. history. But with that segment of the curriculum, not even a segment of the curriculum, that line of the standard, yeah. Some people are like, whoa, why'd you word it that way? That's all this really is. And to be blunt, if the governor's office now wants to like pick a fight over that, that's not my problem. That's their problem.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm going to just say it out. I'm going to say it how it is.
Yeah.
I understand about, and I always stand by, what are the facts? What's the Constitution say? What do we need to do to actually continue the country moving forward? But look, in our business and being in politics, you also have to understand that what you say, some people are going to take it a certain way. That's what's happening here. I don't think it's anything against the legitimacy of the standards that Florida DOE has put out. I really don't, which is why I was like, look, this is really good stuff. The left is going crazy because this is what the left does. But you also got to see that if you say something like that, not saying it's good, but if you even go down that line, you're going to have to be prepared to deal with that.
Yeah.
That's all.
Yeah. The picking the fight is stupid. I mean, we shouldn't be picking fights, and we shouldn't be having fights, especially when we have so much in common. Politically speaking, in the state, and there are so many good things that are happening. It's upsetting that happens, and at the same time, to just be able to clarify positions and say, it's on the one hand you have, and you know what it is, Congressman, you know exactly what this is. On the one hand, you have people that say the words could have been different, and man, I wish we wouldn't have put it this way. Because now it's easily manipulated by others. And then there are people that are saying, well, don't let them manipulate you. Because if they're the ones that are screaming and saying the words are, and putting meaning to words and meaning that didn't exist, then you're feeding into what it is that the left has done for the longest time, against many, against you, against me, against Trump, against so many others, where they create something that is an attack that's not really substance, and so there's both sides to that argument, and I know you see that as well.
No, I do. And so the funny thing about this whole thing is that the national press hasn't even asked me. Not once. They'll probably ask me today because now this has become a thing. Yeah. But they weren't asking me before. We were talking about everything else going on in the country, especially what's going on up here on Capitol Hill.
Yeah, that is weird. Nobody's asked you. It's been over a week. I mean, how long is it? It's been a while since this story broke, and everybody's been talking. I mean, The View and everybody talking about national. Nobody's even said anything to you.
No, they didn't say anything to me, and that's fine. It was one of our local reporters asked me, so I was like, "Well, look, let me be candid about it. Yeah. This thing is passing. Okay, whatever. I say what I say. Now it's a national news story. Yeah. Oh, what? Because I have a difference of opinion with the governor's office. Look, I'm allowed to have a difference of opinion.
Yeah.
It happens pretty often. But at the end of the day, do I think that they've done the right thing with respect to the standards of African American history? I do. The standards are actually very, very good. And this is what I told the local Wink reporter.
Yeah.
If the governor's office wants to expand upon that and make it higher than it is, okay, well, we'll deal with that too.
Okay. Want to go back to aliens now? We could do that.
No, I'm good, man. We can talk. Listen, Drew, we've always been open and candid. Now we talk about everything, even if
I know. I never worry about it. That's why I didn't worry about bringing it up. I would, of course, the things that we talk about, a lot of these things we talk about off the air, on the air, we talk about it because that's why we're here. It's what we do. I'm not worried about the conversation, but I am worried about aliens. I don't know. I'm not really. I don't know.
The aliens thing is actually the aliens thing is very, very. One of my colleagues said to me yesterday, she was like, okay, good. Can we start worrying about climate change? Because this is actually a potential existential threat to the human race. And I was like, yeah, every movie.
But isn't it weird that, if you're going to have a committee and you're going to have a hearing, just say it. Don't be like, I'm going to tell you behind a skiff. Don't say behind a skiff. If you really want to blow this thing wide open, just say it. Where is it? Where are they? I know where they are. Where are they? They're right there at this guy's house. Just point to the house. Like, do that instead of, well, I might die. People have been murdered for less. I can't really say. We have to do it behind a skiff. It doesn't help the situation. It's just dragging it on. I don't know.
I agree. We'll figure it out. But
I know.
Listen, I know Tim Burchett. I know Anna Paulina Luna.
Of course. Yeah.
They're not going to let this go.
Yeah.
They're going to continue.
Yeah.
So I'll make sure I'm in the next one, though, because it was really interesting.
Yeah, I need you to be in the next one because that's what I want the next conversation to be. We could spend a half an hour on what you learned. That would be fun. All right, Congressman, I appreciate you. You know that. We'll see you soon, okay?
All right. Take it easy, Drew.
See ya.